Welcome to another episode of Heffron on History. Today we're going to talk about the English colonies, and specifically the New England English colonies. And we are going to try to answer the question, what way of life is developing in those northern colonies? Next on Heffron on History. The stories of history are best described with the details of history. If you understand the stories of history, you should do quite well in your history class. If you understand the details, well, that's the difference between an A, B, and a C. I want you to understand the stories of U.S. history, and to do that, you need to know the what, the where, the why, the when, and the who of the stories of U.S. history. So, the northern colonies, well, what are they? Well, they're the English colonies in the New World, right? They are the colonies that are going to someday become Massachusetts and Connecticut and Rhode Island and eventually Maine. Where are they? They're on the east coast of the United States. They're going to center around Massachusetts. Why? Religion is a problem in England. For a long time now, they have been fighting in England ever since King Henry VIII took the country from the Catholic religion and created the Church of England. There has been a dispute between Catholics and Protestants, and people are getting executed because they belong to the wrong religion, right? So there's a group of people who are Protestants, and they're rather radical Protestants, and they're called Puritans. And those are the folks who are going to create the New England colonies, predominantly the Puritans. When is this? This is early 1600s. You have probably already heard about the Pilgrims. Well, this is an expansion of that topic. Who? William Bradford is the leader of the Pilgrims. He's going to kind of start this process when the Mayflower comes to the New World, and they create the Mayflower Compact, and they set up the colony, the Massachusetts colony. John Winthrop is going to kind of take over as the leader of the Puritans, and then we're going to have some folks who are kind of radicals. Anne Hutchinson, my gosh, she's a preacher and she's a woman, and that's just completely unheard of back in the day. And she's preaching on some ideas that are a little bit even more radical. So these are the what, the where, the why, the when, and the who of the northern colonies. All right, so what way of life is actually developing in the New England colonies? The New England colonies are located in a place where the weather is not the greatest. The winters are long and the winters are cold. The soil is not the greatest. Can you grow things on farms? Well, sure, there certainly are some farms, but you're not growing a lot of cash crops. For example, tobacco will not grow in the New England colonies. So they have to do something else to make a living in New England. What do? Well, they have a lot of natural resources in the New England colonies, and so they capitalize on those natural resources. They're right next to the ocean, so things like whaling and fishing are very much a part of the way of life in New England. There's lots of forests, so building ships and then shipping things back and forth between New England and England becomes a very large part of the economy. The religion and the government are kind of tied together, right? The official religion of the New England colonies, the predominant religion, is Puritan. It is a Protestant religion. It is kind of all-encompassing in the way of life of the folks who live there. And because of that, their government is based on that religion. So much so that when we get to the topic of the Salem witch trials, that is a religion-based story, and the punishment is doled out by the government, right? So if you belong to the wrong religion, you're going to be put on trial for it. The government of the New England colonies really truly starts with the Mayflower Compact, and this is such an important document in U.S. history You learn about it in history class. You learn about it in civics class. You learn about it in government class. It's kind of one of the foundations that our Constitution is created around. The idea that the people who live there are going to create a government, they're going to create a set of laws, and they're going to agree to follow them. That's the concept of the Mayflower Compact. So, again, it is a cold place, long winters, lots of things to do, on the water in order to earn a living. Whether you're fishing or whether you're whaling or whether you're building ships or whether you're shipping things, and all the different trades that surround that. Most of the people live right near the water, at least in the early years of the northern colonies. And that is the way of life that has developed in the New England colonies. Until next time, Heffron on History.